This could actually be the most useful video I've made so far. For anybody that's looking to start an online business as a whole, not even specifically high ticket sales, one of your most important objectives is building a personal brand. This has massively boosted my career. This has put me in positions that I never even realized were possible. Building a personal brand has been key for me getting to 10K a month. And I'm going to illustrate two stories, two reasons, like basically 2 points of realization that building my social media was the best thing that I could have done to boost my income. See, when everybody talks about high ticket sales, making 10K a month online, running agencies, running various businesses, everybody focuses on the skills, learning the skills, networking, making the right connections, which is very, very important, making connections, learning the skills. But building your social media just allows connections to naturally be made rather than you reaching out to people, trying to tell them who you are. If you have your personal brand built and people know what you're about before you even reach out to them, like that connection is already made. So anyways, I'm going to tell you 2 stories about when my personal brand essentially carried me and put me in like crazy positions. So the first one came about 4 to 5 months after I actually started high ticket sales. And this is also 4 to 5 months after I started my personal brand on Twitter. So I was working for 2 pretty small companies. One of them, the maximum they ever did in a month was 8 grand, which was me. I collected the whole 8K and I got 10% of that, which was $800. And then the other one was doing 26 grand. That was the highest month that we did. I was an appointment setter on that company. So overall, and I got 7% of that. So overall, I made about 2,500, maybe touching 3,000. This is the case for a lot of people watching this, and a lot of people that are 5 months, 6 months, even a year into high ticket sales, who are just stuck at 2K, 3K a month. I was stuck at that for maybe 2, 3, 4 months. But again, I was building my personal brand the whole time on Twitter. And I remember I had a tweet blow up. I was actually trending on the Twitter feed, on the Twitter For You page, because I was beefing with this guy called Birkin. He was basically calling me broke. So my whole personal brand was built around documenting my journey, talking about how I was making 2 grand, 3 grand a month. And he started calling me out. He was like, bro, you're working 60-hour weeks and you're making like 2K. And I was like, in my head, I was like, fair. But I still played up to it. I still played up to the beef. And through Twitter, on DMs, I did not do outreach for a new offer. I didn't find any new offer owner that I wanted to reach out on. I was reached out to by KT Hustles. A lot of you probably know him. He's an Amazon FBA guy. I'm pretty sure he's not running his offer anymore. But he reached out to me on Twitter DMs. And the connection was already made. It was already a mutual respect. Like, he actually showed me respect on Twitter DMs, although he's literally a multi-millionaire and I'm just some guy on Twitter in the countryside in Ireland making 2 grand a month. But the reason he respected me was because he's seen how much work I was putting in. He's seen how committed I was to building my social media too. And he basically said, if you come work for me, you're going to make at least double what you're making. And that's exactly what I did. So the highest month I ever did with KT was 7 grand as an appointment setter. And that was good. So that's the first instance where I realized personal brand is heavy and you definitely need it. Like, this whole video is literally just to convince anybody that's already in high ticket sales, even if you're not making any money, or even if you're already printing 10K a month and you feel as though, you know, you don't need any extra connections, you're making your money, you're printing 20K a month. The issue is, like, you don't know what you're missing out on when you don't have a personal brand. You don't know who is going to reach out to you. You don't know how you're going to 10x your income next. You don't know if that's going to happen if you have a personal brand built. So this whole video is trying to convince, anybody, again, in sales or anybody just running an online business that doesn't currently have a presence to do it, because it's massively helped me. But that's story number 1. So doubled, eventually tripled my income by joining KT, and that was through my brand. Now, number 2 was probably 6 months later. So 6 months after I landed my role with KT, again, top month I made was about 7 grand. It was actually my last month with him. But the second instance where my personal brand massively helped me was making a connection with Devonte Masson. So again, a lot of you guys watching this probably know him. If you don't know him, get to know. Look him up on Twitter, Devonte, and you'll find him, or Instagram, or Deal Fuel. You've probably heard about Deal Fuel. He's the owner of that. But the way my personal brand helped me was this time making a connection with Devonte. I actually reached out to him. So I seen that he was advertising for a closing role. I seen that he was taking people onto his team. I heard very, very good things about him in the space. I heard, yeah, basically he's like the top operator in the space at the moment, basically running the high ticket sales space. And multiple people told me that. So when I seen that he was advertising for a closing job, I was like, gotta learn from this guy. I gotta work underneath him. When I DM'd him on Twitter, so actually, here's what actually happened. So he had a application where you fill out the application on the website and you try booking a call with his hiring manager and his team. So I did that, but I knew that there was minimum 1,000, 2,000 applications. So what I did alongside filling out the application was reply to one of his tweets with a meme. It was actually a Pablo Escobar meme, the one where he's looking all lonely. If you don't know the one I'm talking about, just go onto Google and look up Pablo Escobar lonely meme. It's basically him just looking super lonely when he was on house arrest or whatever. It's part of the movie. It's part of the TV show Narcos. So anyways, I commented that under his tweet and I said, me waiting for Devonte's hiring manager to get back to me. There was even hundreds of replies on that tweet, but my one got seen because Devonte already followed me on Twitter. I followed him. And he had seen my tweets. He's seen what I was about. He's seen how much work I was actually putting in. Now, was I the best candidate for the job that applied out of the 1,000 to 2,000 people that applied? Was I the best closer? Was I the hardest working closer? I don't know. But guess who the fuck got the job? Right? I got the job. And we're here now. Devonte has taken me to 8 to 12K a month, basically every single month since then, for the past year. But again, that's because of my personal brand. He already knew who I was, and even when we jumped on the call, he was like, finally, we meet. He was like, finally, I get to meet you, is what I remember he said that to me, or he said something along the lines of that within Twitter DMs, and I was thinking, finally, I get to meet you. Like, you're like one of the first people that I followed when I started Twitter before I had any following. But again, it's that mutual respect. He's seen what I was about. He's seen how much work I was actually putting in, and that's only because of my personal brand. Probably wasn't the best person out of the 1,000 or 2,000 that applied, but I'm the one who got put in the opportunity. I'm the one who got the job because all of my work was visible. So again, if you're not already building a personal brand, if you're not already even just documenting what you're doing every single day, just do it, man. It's so easy. You don't need to change anything. You just need to record what you're actually doing. You don't need to put an insane amount of effort into it. The videos can be raw, they can be uncut, but just do it. It's going to massively help you. And I know it's going to massively help me moving forward as well. So yeah, let's get back to it. Let's make some money. I have a call right now. Let's work, man.